Hello fellow modelers and styling fanatics, welcome back to my channel. I hope that everyone is doing fine and enjoys the hobby. Long time no see my friends, but I had a good reason. I wanna apologize for the delay of this episode, but I'm not so sorry because the previous week something magic happened and for the first time in my life I became a father. I'm really happy about that. He's a healthy boy and he's gonna in the future hopefully he's gonna help me with the smaller scale stuff. Anyway, I don't wanna bore you much with that. I just wanna inform you that there may be some delays on the next episodes because I wanna adjust my program and see how stuff works. So please bear with that. I'm gonna cope up quickly. Anyway, as I didn't said anyway, Concrete Bunker is back today with our first update on the Carro Armato L6-40, and Past George has managed to do some work. So the work he has done is to put the suspension system together, road wheels and the lower hull, and do some more work onto the interior of the vehicle because this tank includes a small portion of the interior. So without further ado, grab a seat, make yourselves comfortable, crack the mandatory cold one, and let's see what Past George did. Hi guys, welcome to part 1 of the Carro Armato. So what you see in front of you are the parts for the first step according to the instructions. These are whatever we need to put the lower hull together, and I have added this one. You need to attach it on the second step, but I am adding it right now so I can align the lower hull but better. Now before I start gluing parts together, I wanna inform you anyway you can understand for a few stuff. First of all, on the sides, for anyone that it is interested to build this kit, on the sides, since it has interior detail, you need to clean these. There were mold marks like this one all over the place over here, so you need to clean these, and in both sides, simple as it is a simple job. You just need to sand them down, and on the floor part you need to fill some more mold marks that are located in various places, as you can see over here. I left these ones unfilled because over here this is gonna go. It is the engine bay, so since we have no engine detail we don't need to fill these parts, and also this one is covered by another part. So now that everything is ready and sanded, we will need to assemble everything. Now let me grab my glue and start. I'm gonna start with the sides first, and I'm gonna do it as quickly as I can because I will need to align everything. Sorry guys, I had a phone call. So first we attach this side. Anyway, that's how I'm going to do it. So I'm gonna attach, as I said, the side. I'm gonna move to the rear armor plate. Then I am going to attach the other side. Well, I'm going to try to attach the other side. And this all includes parts yes, for step number 1. Now, because I want to be extra sure and extra careful with the alignment of the lower hull, I'm gonna add this extra piece from part number 2, which is that part of the transmission, I think, over here, which is also gonna help me to properly align the lower hull to keep it square. Now I'm gonna keep these parts, I'm gonna let these parts dry a little bit and see if everything is properly aligned. Maybe I will twitch them a bit, move them here and there, so I'm gonna be sure if I have a square lower hull, and I'm going to be back for step number 2. So guys, now we have everything for part 2 clean and ready to go, and what you see in front of you is part of the front armor plate, the transmission system, driver's seat, and driver's level, the levels that he operates the tank. So I'm gonna leave the levels aside because I need to detail paint them first. I am going to assemble the transmission system. There is a half circle hole over here, and you need to insert this like so, and everything will need, all this assembly will need to go here. I will not attach it in place properly, I will not apply glue because I will need this to be just straight enough, and I will remove it so I can detail paint it as well. And now I am making a mess in front of the camera, but anyway, it is what it is. So this one goes like this, and then I will need to insert the front armor plate. So this is the upper side, this one, and this one is the lower side. So you cut it like this, and you will need to slide it. Don't worry about the clicking sounds, they are the sounds that the rivet detail does. And now the frontal armor is in place. I'm going to apply my glue to secure it. Leave this aside. Let's make sure that it is properly lined up. Okay, I'm gonna leave this aside together with the transmission, and finally I'm going to put together the driver's seat. Simple as pie, like this, and we are good to go. But I won't attach this piece either because, detail painting. So before I move on to the next step, I'm gonna detail paint everything. As I said, I'm gonna do a slight weathering and chipping into the interior because that's all the interior we have for the moment. And then I'm gonna be back for step number 3, which is in which we are slowly starting to work on the suspension of the vehicle. So guys, it's been the next day exactly, and I have managed to detail paint and slightly weather everything in the interior tab. So let me start from the beginning. As you can see, we've got some holes over here that lead to the engine bay department. So since we have no engine, I opted to paint it with a dark color, The dark color that I had in hand at that time was this one. Is dark olive drab 71316. I then painted the rest of the interior with white, to be more specific 344 white German tank crew from Vallejo Panzer Races. A couple of details like over here and over here where the foot of the driver are, and some other stuff. I have painted them with gunmetal 71072. And finally I have applied a wash with a panel liner from Tamiya, the usual stuff, and some detail painting over here at the handles with NATO black, only on the grab handles NATO black, and the dark olive drab once again onto the seat, the driver's seat. So now I have also, as I said, coated everything with panel liner. I know that I said it, but I said it again, but anyway. So, and after that I have done some sponge chipping here and there with Panzer Races 302 dark rust. Now, what I'm gonna do next? The next thing I'm going to do is, of course, assemble everything. Give me a moment. Now let's start with the bigger and easier parts first, and of course this is going to be the transmission system, sorry. This is why I have left this part unpainted, because this is where the transmission system gonna attach. First of all, we have to put it through a hole over here and just fit it down. So now that that's in place, we're gonna move on to the driver's seat. The driver's seat it has a knob, and this knob corresponds onto this hole. So let me apply my glue, and of course this happens. Now you're gonna ask me why I use this glue, because I bought it to maintain my extra thing, and because it's a slower curing one, which is better for bigger parts, you know. The slower the glue cures, the better its adhesive is, or so they say. Now here is the driver's seat. I don't know how much of it I have caught on camera anyway. And now we are left with the levers that operate the vehicle. There are two holes, one on each side. Levels go like this. And part 2 is complete with all that. Now we will move on to step 3, number 3, which needs a little bit of careful planning, if you ask me. And over here we have the suspension system and road wheels. How I'm gonna approach this step is how I am approaching every step with road wheels and suspension system. I am going to assemble all the road wheels, all 8 of them. As you can see, there are 2 parts, 17 and 15B. Easy as pie, you glue them together, you remove them from the sprue, clean them and glue them together to be precise. I'm gonna also assemble the sprocket wheel, 4B, 5B and 12B sandwiched all together, and the idler, 3B and 2B, together with the return rollers. I'm gonna do all this stuff off camera because I don't wanna bore you guys. I'm gonna of course detail paint the road wheels because now it is the time for me to do it. It's gonna be more easy for me. And then I am going to return to show you how to put the suspension system for the left side as I see it together, and then we're gonna put the suspension system for the right side. But first of all, I'm gonna need to, as I said, assemble everything and pre-paint them. Okay guys, while I'm working on the rest of the road wheels apparently, and I'm waiting for them to dry, I took the decision to glue some stuff on that will cause no later issues on to me. So first things first, I'm gonna glue this part, which is the sprocket axle, if I may call it like that. It's gonna go over here. And while I was test fitting parts, I have managed to find a flaw or a mistake in the instructions. And while I'm talking to you right now, I'm trying to find my tweezers, and they're nowhere to find. Anyway, let's start with this. Okay, next up we will attach the return rollers, and the keen eye will see that I have the rubber unpainted, but for the time being it is easier for me to paint the rubber part while those wheels are on. And now we have made it to the part where I found the mistake. So instructions indicate that this particular piece must be part 15A, which is the exact part for the opposite side, so keep an eye about that. If you want to find the correct part for the left side, it's 14A and not 15A. So 14A and 17A are a pair, and 15A together with 16A are a pair for the other side. So keep an eye on that if you are working on the same kit as I do. Now give me a moment because I have forgotten to sand a specific portion of the piece down. Okay, and this is how the things are gonna go. You see this small piece there? This is how can I call it? This is a bolt that that's fixing the tension on the idler wheel. This is a small and delicate piece, needs to go over here. Oh, and I am lucky, and this is time for the extra thing. So this part 14A, as I said, will need to go first. In the rear knob over here. Like this. I will of course line it up when I when I set the camera down. I'm not gonna do that in front of the camera, or am I? Anyway, next up we have to attach the idler and sandwich it with this part. Let me apply my glue. This is looking difficult, but we're gonna give it a try on camera. And that's looking good. Okay, and this is the assembly of the idler. Now, so guys, the time has come for me to assemble the first of the four different suspension systems. What you see in front of you is the parts that consist the first suspension. And before I start with this, I want to give you a closer look to what I have done on the lower hull, if my cell phone wants to focus. And of course it doesn't. Now it's better. That's how the lower hull is looking at the moment. This is one side. Underneath, okay, underneath it was a little bit excessive, but I was trying it as a test bed for the new dark brown wash that Greg sent me. That's what I have used, and I'm trying to learn how it works. And that's the other side. What you see over here is a base coat of US Modern Desert Armor 71-122, the dark brown wash, and chipping with the usual 302 dark rust. Now the rubber parts of the wheels are of course 306 dark rubber, and that's all for the time being. Now I'm gonna leave this aside, and we're gonna assemble the suspension part that goes over here in the front of the left side. So I'm gonna leave this aside, as I said, and I'm gonna start with the assembly. Now, how I'm going to approach this, I have no idea, but let's see. Let's start from the small parts first. I have to grab this and this one, attach it over here, probably. I'm going to use extra thin for this assembly. Okay, I also wanna grab this piece and attach it over here. Over here, yeah. Which is gonna be tricky, but we have to. So far so good, probably. And now, according to the instruction, we have to attach this part onto the other one. It's easier said than done, but okay. And we have this part ready. Now let's see. Now we have to grab those two parts. There is this one, which has this weird T-shape over here, which this small piece goes onto the groove, inside the groove to be precise. I don't know how well I am explaining you how this goes, but I'm trying my best. And now we have to attach the wheels here. Which is once again easier said than done. And on the knob over here on the top, where my tweezers are, and you probably won't be able to see it, we have to put it over here like this and sandwich everything together. Which in front of the camera seems a little bit impossible. Let me try again. But this time I'm gonna glue the road wheels. Either way, they're not gonna move. And now let's try that again. And hope that this time works. And that's the first suspension assembly. Now, before I leave it aside, I have to line it up in the lower hole so it will take the properly shape shape. Anyway, you know guys what I mean. Okay, if I'm not mistaken, we should be okay. This lines up with the corresponding piece at the hole, and this one with the corresponding knob on the hole. So we have a success so far. So guys, welcome to the next part of the suspension system. Okay, so this one looks simpler and it has way less small pieces, and it goes like this. According to the instructions, as always, we need to grab this piece and insert some kind of idler wheels. Of course, apply some glue over here, far away from the idler wheels, and sandwich the new idler wheel in between these suspension arms, which is once again easier said than done, but it is what it is. And I think I've got it with the first try. I am getting better at this. Note for the next time that I'm gonna do a Carro Armato. Note to self. Okay, let's hold it for a moment. Let the glue to cure set for a while. And now once again, that's the same parts as the previous suspension system. We have to attach the T-shaped piece over here. And now the road wheels. Okay, and we have once again to sandwich everything together like so. To be honest with you guys, as I build it, I think that there would be an easier way if the kit was better engineered, but it is what it is. Nothing is perfect after all. Okay. And now we have the second suspension system together. This one goes, as I said, over here in the rear, I am going to attach it as we speak. Dry fit it as we speak, so I can set the road wheels in position. Okay, and that's the whole how the suspension goes together. I'm gonna skip doing the other side on camera, of course, and I'm gonna do it off camera. I'm gonna be back to show you how exactly it looks, and we're gonna call it a day. So guys, as I said, I have finished the whole suspension system together with the other side. This is the other side that you're looking right now, and I can tell you that it is really easy without the camera in the way and without, worrying to if you are on frame and everything. Everything now is dry fitted on both sides, that's why I'm holding it. And what I'm gonna do next, you may ask. What I'm gonna do next, guys, is to wrap this video up, of course, because I have a lot of footage and I don't wanna bore you. And with all that said and done, we have made it to the end of this episode. On our next episode, we will probably finish with the suspension system, do some assemble the tracks, and maybe do some work on the upper hull of the tank. I hope you guys found this video helpful and interesting, and stick along for the next episode. Before I go, I wanna thank each and every one of you guys that watched this video. A special thank you to my old subscribers. You guys are the best, and thank you for your support. And know that if you weren't in the way, I probably won't be able to do that. For the newcomers out there, welcome guys. I hope you like what I do. If so, you all know what to do. Leave a like, comment with your thoughts and opinions, share the video if you believe it deserves to be shared, or even consider subscribing for more builds to come your way. Until the next time, fellow modelers, take care and model on. It was that Mofo Damon signing out.